and a pencil. Get it from the pen.
Good evening, everyone. It's 10 after 7. As I said, we'll always give people. Could I?
No.
To Esther, yes, I just got your question. Good evening once again. I want to welcome everyone to our basic sewing mental resilience workshop. This event is sponsored by Arnold Clark Community Fund, and the purpose is also to keep people engaged through the pandemic. And as I said, this event is recorded. If you are not comfortable being on camera, please leave your camera off. And it's also recorded to be shared with people that are not here to catch up with the program as well. Once again, I want to say welcome, and I'm glad that you're here. I will run through what we'll be doing today and next week and the next 3 other sessions. These projects, we'll need to do it for a month. So we're doing it every week. So for the first week, we will be covering basic stitches, how to measure, as in the full body measurement, and also cutting. Then the second week, we'll do a recap and straight to sewing. And we'll also learn about alteration. And the third week, we'll be going to sewing a full printed or gathered skirt. Then the last week, we're going to learn how to make hair bonnets. So that's the structure for this project. Today, we've got our facilitator, CEO and founder of Dewey's Creation, who will be taking us through today's session. And I know we'll all enjoy the session because it's something that will help us along the way, even while you're home and you're asked to send your measurement by a seamstress here or abroad. You can actually do that by yourself through through today's lesson. So once again, I want to welcome everyone for coming. We appreciate you for always being here, always supporting us day in and day out. Throughout the pandemic, we were here almost every two weeks, and you're also here with us. Without you, there would not be a program. So once again, I want to say thank you. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to a wonderful time together throughout this project sponsored by Arnold Clark Community Fund. I will speak no further, just right time for me to introduce our facilitator once again. She is the CEO, Dewey's Creation. Over to you, Ma.
Good evening, everybody. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Can everyone? Okay, yeah. My name is Vicky Olawoye, as our madam has rightly said, and we're here for a good time. Nothing much. I'll just go straight to the point. And how did you come about this? Because we find out that most of the time, it's not everybody that knows how to sew, but of course we have people somewhere back home or everywhere, somebody somewhere, someone just recommended a good tailor to you, and you are far away from the person, you can't get your measurement across to the person, but you need to just, if only the person can have a rough idea of the measurements, it goes a long way. At least it will give the person an idea of what to work with. So that's the essence of, at least you can explain to the, you can do the basic thing and just send it to the person, and the person will use the initiative to just to get it through. And at the same time, we'll be talking about the project that we have in mind is what Irene will call Auntie Vicky's easy way. People call it kaftan. That you're using. So we'll be doing that. We will actually be making that. Even without your sewing machine, you use your hand to make it and get it done, and you wear it and you're proud of it. And at the same time, the essence of the stitches that we'll be learning as well is going to be learning maybe 3 different types of stitches. And it's because sometimes you have your rib jackets or your rib skirts and you don't know what to do with it. Or maybe you need to shorten your trouser, or they've made something nice for you from home or somewhere, or you just stumbled on this beautiful dress and you can't take your eyes off it. No, I must buy it, but I need to put something in. You don't know if you take it to somebody that will alter, maybe they will pay, like, they ask you to pay like 30 pounds and you're getting this on a bargain. So there's a way around it. There's a particular stitch that we're going to learn how to do today that it will look exactly like as if you're sewing. You're using a sewing machine. So at least you know you're gaining that. And another thing with hand sewing, we've talked about the benefit of sewing sometimes ago during the pandemic. As you're putting your hand in, it's a form of exercise. And it even helps with blood circulation as well, because things are going, the nerves, you're going in and out. So it's a good exercise for you. And at the same time, your focus is on what you're making. So it helps with your coordination, everything you're doing is into what you're doing. So it goes a long way. And at the same time, the fact that you can see the finished products good from your hand, you don't need to use anything. It helps you as a person, your pride, your esteem. So thank you very much. So without much ado, I'll go into how to measure. And while I'm doing that, Irene will be displaying, will be showing something on the screen. The basic thing that you need, actually, basic, even if you don't know how to go about anything, you still need to let the person know about your waist and your bust, your waist and your hips. If the person has an idea of that, at least the person will know what they're working with. So it's very important. Even if you forget anything, just know that you know how to measure your busts, your waists, and your hips. Your hips ideally should be the biggest part of your body. So, and once you know what the bust is, that will kickstart whatever they want to make for you. And the waist goes in, it gives it a shape, and it goes on to the hips. Then you know that you know what you're doing. So let's start with that first. First thing first, you hold your tape measure. This is your tape measure. Some use centimeters, some use inches. I like to work with inches because it's straightforward. So you hold it from the tip. Most tape measures usually have a metal, something like a metal ring here. So you start from that tip and you go around your full bust. Whenever you're taking your measurements, make sure you have your bra on, because you don't want to have anything saggy. It gives the whole thing a body. And you're coming. This is the tip. Remember, we started with the tip, and make sure this is resting on your back. Can everyone see this clearly? Can everyone see this clearly? I hope I'm not muted.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So you have taken your tape measure round, and just make sure the tip is resting on the last part of the bust, and use your 2 fingers. Some like 1, some like 2, and I will explain. The reason why some people prefer the 1, we call it ease, so that it will have a kind of, you don't want, because you have to bear in mind that you're still going to add the sewing allowance. And after the sewing allowance, it depends on the kind of fabric. If it's a very hard one, it might be difficult for you to just, after the stitches, you might be struggling with it. So it's important for you to put a single finger on it if you really want something fitted. But if you want it to be a bit loose so that you have a bit of ease, you can use 2 fingers. But having said that, you can now use this to walk around the measurement that you want. Like, for the purpose of what we want to make, we are not going to make something fitted. It's a loose top. So we're going to add to this. So, but you want to send to your tailor or whoever, this is important. So you can see, but you make sure that as you do that, it must move. You must be able to move it up and down so that it can go up and down and be free. So that's for your bust. Then you go down. We all know what the waist is. Sometimes some like it to be slightly above your navel. Some like it to be slightly under it. But I like mine to just rest in the middle. So just go to the middle, that's your waist, and still do the same thing. Your two fingers or one. Just, but make sure that whatever you do, you have that ease. You must be able to move it around, not too tight. If you want to make something tight, of course, you can use just one finger, but you must still bear in mind that you need that ease, even if it's just half an inch, so that you can go free. You can go freely. So that's for the waist. Then you go to the hips. That's the biggest part of your body. But with much respect, sometimes it's possible that coming down to your, because the tummy may be slightly bigger. So you have to bear in mind, if it's kind of bigger than a bit of your hips, you have to take that into consideration. That's why we usually measure the upper hip. It's between that your waist and the actual hip. So, but for the purpose of this demonstration, we just focus on the biggest part of your body, and that's the hips. So you do the same thing, but it must be able to go freely. You move it in a way that when you move it up and you come down, it's resting on that big hips and it can go freely. You can see what I'm doing. It can go freely. So can you see? So that's for the hips. So now, talking about the left, you start, this is your shoulder. So from that middle, you can see this is the neck. There's something like, this looks like something that divides your body from the neck here, not even the center now. So from this shoulder, the middle, just place your tape measure. Don't go this way because you have the boobs that is shooting out already. So you have to take the tape measure past your bust and you just go down to whatever length you want, either the knee or above the knee or below the knee. That's entirely up to you. It depends on whatever you're making. So that is it for the basic. Remember, from this shoulder, you can see that I'm starting from the middle here. I'm not starting from the back, just from the middle here. I'm taking my tape measure across so that it's just over the bust down to wherever I want it done. And peradventure, the tailor may want to know what the neck measurement is. It depends on whatever you're making, but just make sure that depending on the style, we are still going to do the same thing. If it's a collar fitted kind of outfit, you still have to do this, but it must rest on the center of the neck, right here. So that's for the neck. But if you want to be tight, maybe you want a standing collar kind of outfit, you have to let the person know that is it. Because there are some outfits, I don't know, it depends on especially if it's ready-made, it depends on whoever is making it. The neck may be too tight and you don't want that. So you still have to let the person know that this is what I want. Then, having said that, then it can be loose. It depends on what you're making. Then the depth. I'm just giving you the basic terminologies, but other things displayed on the screen, you can see that they are properly analyzed from the other diagram. But the lady in red, just into the basic. Then talking about the neck, some people don't like the outfit to go too deep. Some want it to really go down. You want to bear it all. That's entirely up to you. So, but you still have to let the person know. Make sure, you know, if you touch your neck, there's this thing that looks like if you put your hand down, it goes down a bit. So you just put your hand there and start the measurement from there. I like mine to be like 3.5. I don't like it too low. Some want it to go in fact, as low as 5.5 or 6. It depends on whatever you're making. Here, you should be able to tell the person what this is. Then at the same time, the person may want to know what the shoulder is, because it's not everybody that can assume that from what you have given them, it's okay. They may want to know what the back is. The back is just shoulder to shoulder, but bear in mind that it will still be from this point to this point. Lady Prosper, this is my Lady Prosper. So that's the name. So, but while you're doing that, not that you put it, not that it will be like this. It still has to go past, because you can see that there's a part here that is a bit bumpy, just like the way we did the what's it called? The bust, the length as well. So that is it for that. Then the person may want to know what the length of your sleeve is. So most of the time, to get it accurate, like the lady in red, it's better for you to do this. If you do this, you'll find out that it will not be the same when you do this. So it still has to go past. Unfortunately, I can't stretch my lady's arm, and I can't do a limbo, but you can still start from here. But because she's stretching her hand straight, I can add a bit to it. So it's either you're making a sleeveless like what she's wearing, or you want like a cap sleeve, you can stop right here. I don't know whether you can see that. Or you want a normal sleeve, it can just go at 9. Or you want something that will go maybe under you, that's still fine. And you want a proper long sleeve or 3/4, here you will determine whatever you want to do here. But still let the person know that whatever you're telling them is just the accurate, it's just you're not adding anything. You leave the addition to the person. So then they may want to know the round arm, or some people call it bicep, or it's up to you. But the reason for that is there are times some of us have fat arms. So what goes for size 12 may not be okay for me, even though I'm a size 12 person. But sometimes I like to wear size 14 because my arm can go. I like something that will make my arm to go freely. So if you want to give your tailor that, just place it make sure it's not slipping. It's not slipping down, and just go this way. Oh, sorry. So you do the same thing that you did at when we started. Just make sure that you always put that hand, that thing, those 2 fingers, and let the person know that you actually put 2 fingers there or 1, so that the person will know what you have done, and they will know how to adjust the measurement. So, but it's important for them for you to let them know what this is, and you let them know that if you have made this particular measurement, you made it tight. This other one, you made it loose. Then what? Because this is bigger, it's always bigger than the other part. Sometimes like the wrist, or as you go down, it gets a bit shorter. You go down again, the person may want to know what this one is, the middle part. The person may want to know what this other one is. Then the person will want to know what your wrist is as well. Because you're coming from here, is going down gradually, and at the same time, it's either when it gets here, it's decreasing and going down to the wrist, it goes down again. So I think without much ado, that is it for measurements. So what we are going to do for our project, we're just going to use the basic measurements like the lady in red to make our top. And that's it. Thank you. Any question? Any question?
You can drop your question in the chat while I read it out. Once again, I want to thank everyone for joining. We appreciate you, and that's well explained in terms of measurement. This project or program is recorded. If you're not comfortable being online, please turn off your camera. And yeah, that's it. So the next session now, we're going straight to, is it cutting or the, yeah, we're going straight to the cutting or the basic stitches, depends on you. Over to you, Victoria.
Okay. Thank you. Talking about stitches, I don't know if you can see this clearly. Can you see this clearly?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or should I just center the camera? Okay. So I've got different stitches here. There's one that has some holes. The first one, you can see that there's a bit of a gap in between. Okay. Then the next one, you can see that one, you could hardly see a gap. That one looks as if you are actually sewing, using a sewing machine. And you can see the other one, that one is like, you have a big gap in between. So what we use this one for, maybe something that you don't want to be, you don't really want it to be too tight. So you just want normal stitch that will just join something together, but it's not going to tear off or get ripped. So, but it's quick. It's not too close, but it's okay, it's fine. Nothing will happen to whatever you have joined together. It's good to. Then the next one, that one will look like a proper, as if you're using normal sewing machine. So, and when you do that, why you use this is you don't have access to sewing machine and you want to actually make a garment. So if you use the second one, you can be rest assured that you will not have any problem. It's as if you have just used a sewing machine to make your outfit. It stays where it is and it will look from inside, from outside, it will look perfectly finished. In fact, I know someone that just told us, I think last week, that she's going to use hand stitches to make a whole wedding dress. That is to let you know that even with your hand, you can achieve a lot. If you Google unstitched sewing machine, unstitched fabrics or sewing, you will see a lot that people are doing. So then the third one is called that's the gathered stitches. That one is just for you to just keep your fabric in place so that it's not moving around. If you plan to do something, maybe on a particular fabric, and you don't want it to move, and you don't want to use the paint, but you want it together so that you know where to start from, you know what to do. That is when you use that other one. It's called the gathered stitches. But the first one, the one that has different gaps, that one is called running stitches. The second one that looks like you're making a proper sewing machine is actually called back stitch. Then the other one is the gather one, because that one you can actually use it to create so many things. Maybe you are like, we'll be learning how to make our skirts. So before you start turning it, or you start using your sewing machine, or you start getting to the point of using the back stitch, you need to keep your fabrics together. So that's when you just use in and out. Or if you need to make a gathers, you use it, you go in and out, big stitches, and you now pull from one side, from the other side, and it gives you that ruffle effect. Or you want to, we'll be learning how to make hair bonnet as well. So all these stitches will be important, will be very useful. And I found out that even with your, remember the other time I was talking about when you have your, what's it called, your coat ripped off or something, or maybe your skirt, with the stitches, you're good to go, because it will be very, very neat. And that's what we're going to do now. Thank you very much. Any question? I'm going to demonstrate it now, so you're going to see. So I believe all of us know how to thread our needles. I'm sure nobody can tell me that they don't know how to do that. That one is still very, very straightforward. So all I'm just doing here is I just want to make a knot. I just want to make a knot. So I've made one. I'm going to make another one just to secure my knots. So I've got my knots and I've got my long length. So I'm starting with the first one that I said. The first one is the running stitches. So what you want to do, this is your piece of fabric, maybe your skirt or something, and you know most of it all the time, they are always double. So you put your needle here. You start from somewhere. Don't worry about where you're starting from. Just pull it out. You pull it out. You take it in again, but make sure that if you know that you're confused. Okay, let me turn it down so that you look at it from here. Yes. Is it better now?
Yes, it
is. Okay, now, yes. Like what I did, I just put my thread in. I put my thread in from the back. It doesn't matter where you're starting from, but you have to start from one place. So I want to close it so that I don't want it to be moving up and down. So now I go to the next step. You just be looking like like maybe a quarter of an inch. But if you're confused, you want to really have a straight line, just make a thin line, a very thin line with your pencil. Something that you know that you can actually erase. Can you see that thin line? I'll just be following that thin line. I've started, I'm putting my needle in. It has come out from the back. I go to the back again. If you like, you can move the back as well. But the most important thing is it must be on. I've come out. Remember, we're following the line, and I'm just using like a quarter of an inch. So if you know you are not too sure, you can rule the back as well. The most important thing is you want to stay on your line. So I'm going to be very fast now. So another thing you can do to make it fast, you can actually start going in. I hope everybody can see it. I'm still on my line.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so what you can do, you can just go on the line without even pulling it out too much. I'm going on my line. I'm not bringing it out because I know I'm going to pull it out as well. So all these ones are very, very important in case you need to do a quick stitch, just to get something together. Okay, I'm done now. Can we all see? This is the running stitch. Thank you. Any question before I go to the next one?
That's quite clear, yeah.
Yeah, so that's fine. This is different from gather stitches. Gather stitches can be wider than this. This can even be a bit smaller than this, but still look, you can see that even if I open it, it's fine. It's not showing any ripping. It's manageable. Maybe you just got stuck somewhere and you find out that somebody has a sewing badge, a needle and thread. Just pin. You need to go out as your Ashwebi or something, and there's nobody that can fix it for you. Just quickly do this and that's it. So that's about that. And we'll go to the back stitch. I've threaded my needle already. Like I said, I like to secure it like twice. Make your knots and secure it twice. And sometimes I like to use double thread, but some are very good at using just single thread. So now I want to go, the next one, the first one is running stitches. So this other one is the one that I said will look like a proper sewing machine. So as usual, I like to be able to follow. You can see that here, because I rolled it, is consistent. The stitches are consistent, so it's straight. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to just make a thin line, Like this, I can see. Yeah. So I'm going to start from the middle. I'm going to start from the middle. I'm bringing it out. Can you see? I will now go back. What I've done, I won't, you know, the other one, we brought it out, we put it in, we brought it out. But this one, you now go to the next line or next place, next line. But this time around, it has to be consistent, and it will not be as wide as the other one. This is going to be small, but not too small. I've come out. You can see. So from where I came out from the middle, I will now put my needle back from where I started from and pick another line again and go. Can you see the consistency? I will go back, still on my line, because I made a thin line. It's easier for me and it's looking straight. You can see. I'm going into where I started from. You put your needle there and you go in and you come out, not from this other one, like you did from the first one. You go to the next on your line and you keep going. You go back to where you started from, come out from the back and pin it from the other end. You can see, look at the back, look at the back. It looks exactly like a proper machine stitch. And look at the front. Look at the front. There's no gap. So I'll just do a few more because of our time. I'll be fast now. Go in, out, and come out.
I went back to get the chocolate, but she only lives up the road, so I'll go and get it.
I'll soon be done. I'm putting a gap there so that you see clearly that it's just okay. I'll stop at one point now. Okay, let me just do 2 more stitches and that's it. So like this is what we're going to do with our easy top. We're just going to make this straight stitch down and use the same technique for the neck. And that's it. We know that we have our nice top. You can wear it with anything. You can wear it on your trouser. You can wear it on your skirt. You can wear it on its own. And you can embellish it to look so nice. Can we see now? This looks exactly like machine stitch. You can see the back. Can we all see this?
Yeah.
Now show us the inside.
It's clear.
Can you see
Yeah, we
the
can see it.
inside now? So we can't compare this inside with that one. This looks exactly like a proper, you know, like you're having your skirts. Look at that. So this, you can use this for anything, your trouser, your anything, you're fine. Okay, thank you. Any question? And I'll go to the last one. Any question? Any question?
As I
This
said,
is
if you
called
have a
back
question, please put it in the chat, then I'll read it out. Thank you.
stitch. It looks so neat and perfect. They're just going to sew straight our outfit. One line here, one line here. That's it. And the neck, of course, we'll just hem it, and that's it. And it will come out so nice. Thank you. I just go to the last one now. The last one is just like the regular garter stitch. Like I said, I'm going to do my knots twice. It's just to secure it. When you finish, you can always trim it off. You can trim the excess off. So I'll go back to what I started with, like the other one too. The same thing we did, just start from very close to if you want to secure it, you can just close it on the side. Otherwise, just start your stitch. As usual, because you really want to have a well-finished stitch, you can just make a thin line. You know, the other one, we started from the back and we're going in and out. But this one, right from where you tied, like this, you just go to the next line. You go to the back, you put it through, come out from the back. Then you go to the next, but this time around, the gap will be so wide. It will be so wide because we don't really need it much. We just need something to hold the fabric together. You can see that I'm making my stitches to be so big. It's just to hold this fabric together. Can we see? So I've got this, I've got this, and I've got this. Can we all see the difference?
Yeah.
This is wider, this is a bit smaller, and this is the perfect stitches that we want. So you can see that with this one, you can actually pull. Can you see? If you're making gathers or you want to make roses, this is fine. Can you see what it's giving me? That's the gather stitch. You can use this for anything. You're trying to pull some satin, maybe even as a rose, as a bow, as whatever, but even as a skirt. By the time you make your skirt, you pull everything like that gently, and you can just do whatever you like with it. Any question? Thank you, everybody.
Once again, I want to thank everyone that just joined. We appreciate you being here today. If you have any question in regards to the first thing we did, which was full body measurement, and now we just did 3 different stitches. If you have any question, please put it in the chat and we'll address the question at the end of the workshop. And quickly, I want to say thank you to the sponsor of this event. They are called Arnold Clark Community Fund. And yeah, the next thing we're going into now is straight to cotton. And we are going to sew the material next week. Although we're still going to run through it, but at this stage, we'll be going straight to how to cut a material, which is mostly for what we want to do on this program, a simple top. Nigerian call it bubu. So we'll be cutting bubu today. So which can be used as top, which can be used as a gown as well. And for those that are just joining us, I made mention that this project will run through September. So it's a 4-week program. The first week will be covering basic stitches, measurement, and cutting. And the second week we'll be doing alteration and sewing the top. I just made mention of bubu. And the third week we'll be doing gathered skirts. And the fourth week, which is the last week, we'll be doing hair bonnets. So once again, I want to say thank you for joining, and over to you, Auntie Victoria.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let me just keep this aside. Now, we'll be making a nice bubu. I would like Aaron to just show this image on the screen so that people will see it.
Which image?
I'm sending it now.
Okay, cool.
1 second.
WhatsApp or Facebook?
No, WhatsApp.
Okay.
So that we have a clear idea of what exactly we want to make. It's just to show, okay, it's not here. I don't want to, okay. Sorry, 1 second. It's just to prepare our mind for it. That's all. 1 second, 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I don't think I can find it. Okay, yes, I found it. Okay. Okay, I've sent it now.
Okay, I'll be sharing it shortly.
Yeah. So what we want to do, like, I believe, I don't know the kind of fabric we have, but if we're going to be using Ankara or any other thing that we want to use, I will advise that we use something like if we don't have your African fabric at home, you can actually use your bed sheets to practice. Just make sure with your tape measure 45 by 45. 45 across by 45. I will show you that now. Okay. I'm going to send another one so that you see it. Okay. You can share the second one as well.
Okay, I've just shared the first one, and this is what we'll be making. So this could be in either a gown as it is on the picture, or it could be a top to wear a jeans, or it could be a knee length to wear as a short dress as well.
Yeah. So I've got some, let me just, so can you see me now clearly? Yeah. So now the whole idea is what's the kind of fabric that you want to use. I want to assume that our fabric is like this. Let's assume this is my Ankara, like what I've got here. I have 2 years of Ankara here. That's African fabric. So the same way that I'm holding this paper like this is the same way I'm holding this Ankara. The only thing that I'm trying to do now is, like this paper, I'm having it straight. Just imagine this is 2 yards of Ankara or 1.5 yards, or your fabric is this way, 1.5 yards by 45. Your bed sheet, you don't have African fabric or any other fabric that you have at all. Just assume that it's going this way, 45, and it's coming this way, 45. But for the purpose of this demonstration now, I've got these 2 yards of Ankara. Remember, it's running across. All I need to do is just to fold it into 2, which is what I'm doing now. So this is my Ankara. I'm folding it into 2 like this, from the top down. That's it. And that's what I've done here. Now you now go again. This is number 1. Number 2 is folding. Then number 3 is turning it and folding it into 2 again. Now you have like 4 folds. Remember what I said? I started like this. That's my 1.5 or 2 yards of Ankara. And this is what I've done. I decided to fold it into 2 from the top, and again to fold it again. So this is what I'm going to do with this. I've folded it into 2, and now I'm turning it again to fold it into another 2. So this is what I've got. This is what I've got. So I have it like 4 pieces. So this is what I've got. This is what I've got. All I need to do now is to cut the neck, do my measurement here, and open it. I have my my fabric folded into 4 now. This is what I've got now. So I'm going to demonstrate slightly with this paper. Please, if you're not getting anything, just let me know. I'm going to have to turn it down now. Okay. Now, I said I've got this initially, and I folded it into 2, and I folded it into 4. That's what I've got. And this is what I have now, like my Ankara. So now, remember when we started, measured our, so when you now want to start, you have to take into consideration your bust, your waist, and your hips. Because it's a loose way, the reason why people take waist into consideration is some like it shaped. You can see that from the diagram, from the pictures. The African fabric one is a bit, you can see that I shaped it in a way, and this one is very loose. So this one, I may not need to bother myself too much about the bust and the waist, because it's not that important. But for this, because I want it to have a kind of shape, so I just added to the waist, I added to the bust, and I added to the hips, and I shaped it. But here, I didn't do all that. I just stitched it from the edge down. But because of her shape as a woman, it will still bring that curvy thing out. So now, my 4-folded fabric is here. All I need to do is, from the top, let me just measure my armhole. And what is this armhole? You know, you can see that you don't want, with your fabric, you don't want it to be, because it's open there. You're stitching from outside. So definitely this place will be opened, but you don't want it to be too opened. So you have to take this place into consideration. And for standard, I like to use 12 or 13. It depends on the individual. Some like it to be 9 or 10. 9 sometimes seems too tight. But if you can go down like 11, 12, 13, it's still manageable, because basically what you're trying to do is you're measuring. What you're trying to do basically is you're measuring from here to under your bust as your armhole, so that the fabric can move freely. So now, back to what I was saying.
Hello, Sister Vicky. Do you have like a marker that you could use rather than a pencil, like a shaper or something like that?
You're muted.
Oh. Sister Vicky,
Okay, it's fine now.
yeah, is it possible for you to use a marker like a shapey? Is it called a shaper or shapey? So when you're drawing on the white paper, it will show more.
Auntie Vicky, we can hear you. Are you there?
I don't think she can hear us. And I can't hear her too.
We can hear you. Are you there? Hello, we can hear you.
Is it better? Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
No, it's fine now. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. So I've got this now. Yes. Okay, good. So because I was talking about from here to here, we need to find our armhole. So I just want to do this first. I said most of the time I like to use 12 or 13. Some use 10, some use 11. But just follow what I'm saying. From the top from this folded top, what I've done is I've just measured. Is it very clear? Yeah, pink. I've just measured 11 inches. And I will go down again to measure another 11 inches. And I will go down again to measure another 11 inches. Can you see that? Okay, yeah. So now, what I want to do, I need to get the neck. So, and like I said, some like this to be wide, some like this to be not too wide. So, but for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to measure from this folded edge. I'm just using the paper now, but I'm going to use the fabric. So you're going to see, we're not cutting today, but it's good for us to know this against next week. Okay. Okay, yes. Now, can we see this now? The only thing I've done is, remember we folded this into 4, and I've just measured from here to here, 12 or 11 inches. The same thing here, the same thing here. That's what I've done. So now what I need to do.
Auntie Victoria, there's a question for you. Ronke wants to ask a question. Ronke, over to you, please.
Yeah.
Hello, Sister Victoria. We can't see what you're showing. We can only see we can't see you're measuring the armhole. So you said you measure from the top, you measured 11 inches. and then another 11
Yes.
inches. We can't actually see anything. All we can see is your photo.
Okay, can you see now?
Okay, I'm
It should
sorry. I just ended the sharing. So now
Okay.
I've pinned her. I don't know if you can see her now on the screen.
You should be able to see it. I can see myself
You know
clearly
what? Yeah,
from the
you
other.
could swipe your
Aha, I
swipe.
can see. I've swiped. I can see you now. I
Okay,
can see you
cool.
now. Yeah. Thank you.
Aha.
Esther, do you
Yeah.
want to say anything? I see Esther too raising up her hand, or maybe before now. Esther Osakwe.
No, ma, no, sorry.
Okay, she's good. Okay, please, can you repeat it again from the armhole so that people get what you're saying? Thank you.
I said, if you go back to that screen that you shared, you can see that my hand is coming, the two hands are coming from the side, not that I stitched from inside. So to get that, you need to measure from this. You can see, at least everybody, I want to assume that everybody understands to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to get the armhole, just from here, you just measure what you are comfortable with your armhole. It has to be under your bust. Whatever you measure, remember from our measurement, we took our tape measure across the bust to under, let it go a bit under. So that's your armhole measurement, as in where you want the thing to start on the side. So for me, I like 11 or 12. So for the purpose of this demonstration, let me just assume that I'm using 12. So from here to here, I've measured 12, I've measured 12, I've measured 12. It's just so that I'll be able to know what my lines are when I want to stitch. That's the essence of this. So I've measured that. Now I want to cut the neck. Like I said, some like this to be low, some like this to be maybe a bit hot. So I'm going to use 3 by 3. So all you're going to just do is to make a square of 3 by 3 here. A square 3 by 3. I'm going to do that now.
I
Let me
think
focus
she
here.
has her camera off. I think because I can't see what is being described.
But I can see it from here. Okay, can you see it now? Can you see it now? Can you see it now?
No, we can only see your ruler and your book. We can't see
Yes,
the cloth.
And
Okay.
that is what she wants you to see for now, because she wants to blow out the neck.
Oh, measuring on the paper. Okay.
Yes, she's doing the paper, but she'll
So
explain
that
it with the
it's easier
material as
for
well
when I'm
later.
using the fabric.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll see the fabric. Yeah. So you
Yeah,
can
but
see that all I've just done is
I think she's not pinned because it's another picture that I am seeing. I'm not seeing what she's doing.
Who is saying she's
Swipe.
another picture? Please just try and move your picture.
Move
Swipe
your
the thing.
picture.
It will take you to where she is. Because I've pinned this down.
Can you
There's
pin the
Vic Olawoye, and there's what's the other one?
Okay, let me pin the other two. But for those that are still complaining that they're not seeing it, you just need to swipe your screen to where she is. And where she's doing the demonstration is where we've got the blue ruler and the pink pen on. But I could just pin the two of her device though.
you can pin where her picture is, and then she
Can you
can just.
see it now?
Yeah, I can see it. So it just depends on the device that the person is using. Yeah, I can see.
So now the only thing I've done is I've just made a square. Should I call it this? 3 by 3. I measured 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. That's all I've done. I want to cut the neck, and the easiest way to cut your neck without stressing yourself is just measure from that folded edge. Just measure a square of your desired neck length. I like 3. I don't like it too low. So, and I'm using 3 by 3. I measure 3 here. I measure 3 here. And this one is already 3. Everything here, this box is 3, 3, 3, 3. That's what I've done. So to make it look like a proper neck now, I just need to just go, please watch this closely. From this place, just make an arc or a curve from one end to the other. Can we see it?
Yeah.
Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Yes. From this point, I just made, just to connect it to the other end, I just made a slight curve. So I'll raise it up for you to see. Sorry. Okay, this should be clear. Can we see it now?
Yes.
Can everyone see this now? Remember, we started,
Yes.
this is our Ankara. We folded it into 2 and we folded it into 4. And to get our armhole, we just measured from the top, 12, 12, 12. And to get our neck, we made a square of 3 by 3, yours can be 4, yours can be 5. So, and after making that square, I now connected the other one with a slight curve because I want to cut the neck out. The neck is round. If you're making a square neck, you just cut the square out, but this one is a round neck. So now I want to cut it out. Now watch me closely. I'm holding my scissors. Sometimes if you don't follow this technique, you may have your neck, the tip of the neck, it will just budge out. So this is a simple technique that I learned from my great mentor. You hold your scissors as if you want to cut straight, like 1 inch. You know, the ideal thing is for you to start using your hand to curve it round, but no, because you are after something, you start as if you're cutting straight, like 1 inch, then you now bend your hand. Can you see it? So already, can you see what I've done?
Move it further forward. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or raise it up so we can see the cuts because the paper under is reflecting on what you just.
Because I don't want this other one to confuse you. That's why. Okay. Can everyone see this now? Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Yes. So that's the neck. Now, this is not where we're going. Now, we have talked about the neck. We have talked about our armhole. Where do you start the stitches from? That's when you need the biggest part of your body. We don't, at this point, except you want to shape it, the bust is not relevant because we want something loose. So I'm going to, for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm still going to use 12 again. My hips is 40. Or let's say 42. My hips is 42. So don't forget that I have 4 pieces here. So that means this is 10.5 by 4. So now, because this is a loose outfit, I want it to be free when I'm wearing it. So I'm going to have to add either 5 inches or 10 inches. That depends on you, in as much as it can go through your neck. But for the purpose of this demonstration, let's add 10 to our hips. That will make it 52. 52 divided by 4 is 13. So what I want to do is, now watch me closely. I will now take my ruler. This is the middle. You know, because we are symmetrical as human beings, so we are divided into 2. This is like you're dividing your body into 2. and you're going this way. So I will now measure from this point, not from the open edge. From this point, I will measure my 13 inches. Remember, we're working by 13 times 4. You mark here 13, you mark here 13, you mark here 13. And you just maybe create like, you can still rule it. This is where your stitches will be. So to have the same thing at the back, there's a way around that one, but I will show you that later. So this is our boo. Okay, let me press it down. So you're going to stitch this, and you're going to stitch this. And we do the neck. Then you have what was displayed on the screen the other time. That's it.
And can I add that the way you made the neck 4 corner, some people can still choose to have their neck like that.
I mentioned that earlier. I said it can be 4 corner, it can be round.
Okay.
But for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to use round neck.
Okay.
And use that method to come up with anything. You can use it to open to have open chest, but I don't want to confuse you with that. Let me do the back. You can use that method to have open neck. So, you know, in easy sewing, there are some things we do that we don't know that all these basic things, they are just the things we need to get us started. Very easy. If you see some of the things, as simple as this style is, if you see the way, and you know it's actually in vogue now, when you see people using draping fabrics and everything, you'll be surprised. Look at that. This is a V-neck. Can you see? Can everyone see that now? So that's it. I'm now going to show you the Ankara one because we're going to sew next week. We're going to cut it and stitch it. So I would advise that after this program, you go back and watch your video over and over again. So I will want you to just focus on Lady Prosper, so it will be easier for you to see what I'm doing. So remember, we started with our 2 years of Ankara, and we decided to fold it into 4. So this is what we've got, like the way you have your paper. Can you see? So the same way. Okay. Can you see?
Yeah.
So, like I said, all you need to do is from here to here, measure your 13 inches in 3 places. It can be 4, it depends on the length that you're working with. It's just for us so that we'll be able to get our straight line. So you measure from here to here, you rule it. Don't let it show you. It's better you use tailor's chalk. Don't forget, because we're sewing outside, whatever you put here is going to show. So it's better for you to use a chalk that is not, that you can erase after. We have erasable fabric marker, so it will disappear with the fabric. So you measure from here to here, 13, 13, 13, or 12, or 11, or 10, you know, depending on your armhole, you measure. So once you do that, then you get the neck cuts. Once that is done, then from here to here, our bust, your hips, yours may be 40. If yours is 40, just add 10 to it and divide by 4. If yours is 50, add 10 to it and divide by 4. The only reason why you can decide to do otherwise is, I'll show you. 1 second. You decide to go slightly in. Can you see that? Instead of coming straight, stitching it straight, you curve it so that it will give you that shape. But that shape must be able to accommodate your hands when you're trying to put it on yourself, so that this space will be thinner, but it will still be free. And of course, you have your regular hips and your bust. So that's it. So once that is done, we have cut the neck and you have measured the biggest part of your body plus 10 and you divide it by 4. Just measure from here to here and just do your 3 markings like I did here. Do your 3 markings like I did here, and you can use your pin to hold it down. When you use your pin to hold the 3 points and you roll it down, it will show at the back. So you won't need to start measuring again. All you need to do with the back like this, that's the back. You trace it with the pin down. Open it up and just stitch. You open it up and stitch. Stitch this side, and you wear your outfit.
Wow.
So I'm going to use this same fabric next week and do you will see what I'm going to do with it, embellish it, put rhinestones, do whatever I like with it, and you stand out. And don't forget, the advantage is you're making something that you cannot say that you have seen any other person wearing. That's the joy. That's the feel. It makes you feel good about yourself. I'm proud of yourself that it's even your hand. It's not only eco-friendly, it's even life-friendly, wellness-friendly. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Auntie Victoria. That's, to me, well explained. I don't know if anyone has questions that you want to throw to her before we call it a day. Yes. Today we'll actually, we intend to make it this way, brief and straight to the point. Looking forward to us sewing proper top, dress, or long dress or short dress come next week. So if you have any question that you want to ask, feel free to ask now. And also, this is a recorded event. We'll be sharing the link. So as many that wants to watch it again so that you be clear and get prepared for next week, please do. And if you don't have your material, we actually posted material sewing kits to those that requested for it. But for the people joining today, I know you should have your needle, your thread, and your tape at home. And what she just demonstrated, we could use anything at home to do that. It could be from your old sheets, just for you to be confident that I can really make this. Then you cannot try it on a proper Ankara or material ready to wear out. But for the practical, come next week, the same time around 7 o'clock. Please come with your material so that we'll all take part in the practical. That's the reason why we are here. So once again, I want to say thank you to the facilitator, CEO, Dewey's Creation, Victoria Olawoye. I want to thank the sponsor of this program, Arnold Clark Community Fund. And yeah, I will open it for any question. It could either be a question or a contribution to what we've learned today. And I know we have some seamstress in the house. So if you feel we could do this in a different way, please feel free to share. And over to you, Rosalind, and let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
Over to
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a very good one, and I think I will make that outfit. I really like to have that free, outfit on me most times because I'm on the voluptuous side. So having something that I can make really easily and very straightforward, it's really, really exciting for me. But I do have a question as to where do you start to sew under your arm so that your arm can go in? Is there a measurement for that, or how do I know where to start to sew for my armpit? Sorry, maybe I missed that.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. That was why I said initially that we have to take the armhole into consideration, and it depends on what individual is comfortable with. Armhole, apart from people making regular outfits, as in maybe you want to make your top or with that or something. But this one, just know that whatever you want to do, you're measuring under. I'll do that now. You're measuring. Sorry, I don't want it to be here because it would be uncomfortable for me. So I'm going past my boob, my bust. So you can see that if I go past the middle, the bust, that point,
Yeah.
it's kind of okay. But for me personally, I like to go down. So I'll rather go a bit under my bust. So I know that I'm starting here. So that's why I said for me, I like 13.
Okay.
Sometimes if I really want something really girly fitted, maybe I can go with 12, but I will struggle with it, but it's because I just like to just do it that way. But just from that middle point of your shoulder, just pass the measurement through your bust and just go, or you can just switch the phone. If you are not happy with it, you can go up, you can restitch. I like to just make it 13. It's okay for me. 13 by 13. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's clear. Is anybody here that wants to add to that or ask any question before we call it a day and look forward to next week where we'll be doing the proper top dress, long or short, depending on your fabric. Okay, I think there is no question. Once again, I want to thank you all for joining. Please feel free to invite people to this platform. We'll be doing a recap on the measurement and everything before we dive into the sewing come next week. As I said, it's the same time next week around 7 on Tuesday. And yeah, I think that's it. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, Arnold Clark Community Fund. We appreciate you at a time like this, and this is to keep people busy mentally, physically, as we cope with the pandemic. That's the reason for this fund. And as I said, if you're just joining us, this project will run for a month, and each week we have different things that we'll be learning. As next week we'll be learning or going straight to sewing a top or a mini dress or a long dress, and the following one we'll be doing a gathered skirt, and the last one will be doing hair bonnets. So that's it on this program today. I'm liking that we're closing early. It's supposed to last till 9, but I see no reason why we should still be here when we're done with what we have programmed to do today. Once again, I want to say thank you. And Auntie Victoria, any last word from you before we call it today? We can't hear you, you're muted.
I just want to encourage everyone that it's a good thing. We can see that it's very simple. And you can only imagine what you can do with just this simple knowledge. But I tell you, we have discussed the health benefits of even hand sewing. You know, it helps with the hand movement, coordination, circulation, and even for your psyche, it's very, very good. So there's a lot we can do. And of course, we enjoy the fellowship. So
thank you once again, and we encourage us to still be here next week and invite others. So that's my way of saying bye-bye. I look forward to seeing you all next week, Tuesday. Thanks for joining, everyone that have joined. I appreciate you. Let me see the names and let me appreciate you individually. I want to say thank you to Florence, thank you to Abby and Farm, Nicole, Rachel, Ugie, Tracy, Ronke, Nas, Timmy, Emily. Some few people joined earlier, which I should make mention of. Nana joined earlier. She needs to join another meeting. Ronke was here as well. Maureen was here. So as many that joined, we want to say thank you, we appreciate you. And also Esther was here as well. I know a few people jumped in and out. Thank you for joining as well. As I said, this is a recorded event. If you need the recorded version, it can be sent to you so that you watch it again and get prepared for our practical session come next week, Tuesday. A big thank you for joining, and God bless. Have a lovely bed rest, and I see you all next week, Tuesday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
You forgot to take picture. Have you taken picture?
Bye, everyone. I did a
I said, have you taken picture? Have you taken pictures?
No, I did a screenshot earlier, but it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Let me end the